Luke, I am your father. It's one of the most iconic lines in movie history, right? Except he never says it. So why does the entire world remember a line that doesn't exist? Sup, freaks? Paul Daniel here, your awkward software engineer, and this is NeonFreak Byte, where we tackle the topics that shake your reality. Because if the entire world can misremember the most iconic line in movie history, then reality is way more negotiable than we think. Today, we're diving into the Mandela Effect, that bizarre feeling when millions of people clearly remember something that history says never happened. Are these just mass misrememberings, or are they scars left behind from colliding realities? You're in the right place if that intrigues you, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe, alright? Let's get weird and bite this. A woman in her late 30s digs through a dusty box in her parents' attic, a wave of nostalgia hitting her. She pulls out an old, worn VHS tape. The label, in her own childhood handwriting, reads, Shazam. A huge smile spreads across her face. For years, she'd argued with friends online, insisted she remembered the goofy 90s movie where the comedian Sinbad had played a genie. They all called her crazy, but here it was, proof, vindication. She races downstairs, blows the dust out of the old VCR, and slams the tape in. The screen flickers to life with grainy static. And then the opening credits for a completely different, forgotten comedy start to roll. She rewinds, fast forwards. Shazam is nowhere on the tape. The vindication curdles into a cold, creeping dread. The tape in her hand proves she remembered the movie, but reality itself seems to have overwritten it. The question is no longer, was the movie real, but was her timeline real? That feeling of absolute certainty clashing with objective reality, that's the heart of the Mandela Effect. It's named after Nelson Mandela, who thousands of people vividly remember dying in prison in the 1980s, complete with memories of news reports and TV specials, except he didn't. He was released, became president of South Africa, and died in 2013. But the shared memory of his earlier death persists, and it's not just him, it's not just you. Millions of people share the exact same false memory about the Berenstain Bears being spelled Berenstein. How can millions of strangers be wrong in the exact same specific way? It doesn't feel like a simple mistake. It feels like a collective echo from a timeline that no longer exists. Other examples abound. The Fruit of the Loom logo having a cornucopia, the Monopoly Man having a monocle, or Darth Vader's famous misquote. Each one is a tiny crack in the foundation of our shared reality. Now, before we jump to parallel universes, let's look at what mainstream psychology says, because the rational explanation is, in its own way, just as freaky. It comes down to the inherent fallibility of human memory. Our brains are not perfect recording devices. They are reconstructive storytellers. We are highly susceptible to what's called confabulation, the brain's tendency to fill in gaps in our memory with fabricated but plausible information, which we then believe with absolute conviction. We also suffer from suggestibility and source monitoring errors where we absorb information from online forums, conversations, or even parody art, and our brain later misfiles it as an original memory. Psychologists have a simple explanation for the Mandela Effect. Your brain is an unreliable narrator. It constantly fills in gaps with plausible fictions and sells them to you as fact. The truly scary part? You can't feel it happening. Your most cherished, vivid memories could be lies your brain told you. For many, that's a more terrifying thought than any parallel universe. So, we're left with two profoundly reality-shaking possibilities. On one hand, the scientific consensus, our individual and collective memories are deeply flawed and unreliable. Our sense of certainty is just an illusion. On the other hand, the fringe explanation, reality itself is not stable. Maybe we're constantly shifting between parallel universes with tiny differences, and the Mandela Effect is the scar tissue left behind from these timeline merges. Or perhaps it's a glitch in the Matrix. Proof we're living in a simulation. So what's the truth of the Mandela Effect? Here's the terrifying choice you have to make. Either your own mind is a faulty machine that confidently lies to you every day, or reality itself is a fragile, editable document with different versions that are bleeding into each other. Which is a more unsettling thought? An unreliable mind or an unstable universe? What if the Mandela Effect is linked to quantum immortality? A fringe theory suggesting that when you die, your consciousness simply shifts to the nearest parallel universe where you survived. Could the tiny differences in these new timelines be the source of these memory discrepancies? Some theorists have tried to link the rise of Mandela Effect reports to major events at places like CERN and the Large Hadron Collider, speculating that high-energy particle physics experiments could be punching holes between dimensions or disrupting space-time. Is this a side effect of our own scientific curiosity? Could the Mandela Effect be weaponized? Imagine an entity that could subtly alter reality or implant false collective memories. It would be the ultimate gaslighting, a way to manipulate history and control populations by changing what people believe to be true. How would you fight an enemy who can rewrite your past? If we accept that reality can change, how does that affect our future? Do our choices matter if the timeline can be retroactively edited? It introduces a level of cosmic chaos that challenges the very idea of cause and effect, making our existence feel profoundly random and unstable. So yeah, the bizarre, unsettling feeling that your own memories are at war with the world, it's pretty freaky. What is the one Mandela Effect that you are 100% convinced is real and not just bad memory? Tell me the one that breaks your brain in the comments. I promise I'll respond to as many of you as I can. You want more Neon? More of me? Please hit like and subscribe to the channel. I need you. Yes, you. Come join me in the Freak Show. Next time, we're taking a bite out of the future of distributed ledger technology. Yeah. So, brace yourself, stay curious, and always remember, you're a fucking freak. And in my mind, that's the best thing you can be.